Welcome to the Effects Loop. I'm Diaz.
I'm Scott.
We're keeping you in the loop of the guitar community. You said that so matter of factly. I'm Scott.
Well, you caught me with a fork, like a half an inch from my mouth. I was about to take a bite.
Well, you said ready for liftoff or whatever, and I'm like, let's go.
You still eating space?
Oh, dude, do you remember the space ice cream?
Mm-hmm.
Like the dehydrated ice cream? That stuff was the bomb. Whatever happened to that?
I don't know. They used to sell it at the Museum of Science and Industry, which was the museum I always liked going to here in Chicago.
There was one in Tampa. There was a Mosey in Tampa. We had the giant IMAX theater.
Mm-hmm.
That was flipping cool.
That was my favorite museum. No surprise, I turned out to be an engineer.
Oh man, I remember when they used to have the Kinects that would and we used to be able to play at the entire bottom. Did you guys have the the hurricane booth?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was so cool.
Where you make a water vortice?
A what?
A vortex.
Oh, I thought you said a waterboarding. I was like, what are they doing in Chicago?
Sorry, I wasn't. I was referencing the George W. Bush Presidential Library, I guess there.
Oh.
Too deep of a cut? Did I just get political? Are we cutting this?
Yeah, well, I have no clue. All right, well, this episode is brought to you by Stringjoy, I guess.
Speaking of people who won't waterboard you,
you can buy their stuff and they won't be mean. It's great. Go to stringjoy.com, check out some awesome gear. Their strings are phenomenal. Their socks are great as well. If you don't own a pair, what are you doing? I mean, it is the style of 2021. You've got to get some Stringjoy socks.
What am I doing?
I don't know, dude. All right, well, go check out stringjoy.com. What's new with you?
I got some new toys in. Some various projects are wrapping up, ideally today or tomorrow. We'll see what happens. The whammy I bought from you. The new Switch came today, so I get to solder that in. So $2 later.
Oh, I gotta say, I've got that Liverpool. I plan on going to the post office tomorrow. I've got to ship out a bunch of crap.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. It's not. I was actually going to loan it to a dude, so we got time.
Okay, cool.
I got a few friends trying to do ampless rigs, and so I figured that would be like a starting point for them.
I mean, it's where I started really with Kemper, but that was whenever it came to
downgrading.
Yeah, I was like, Kemper, I'll just go. Let's see what we can get worse than that. I'm surprised I didn't go with a Joyo Sans amp or a Joyo pedal, like AC tone or something.
I've heard those are actually pretty good. I mean, a lot of those things are pretty good. If you know how to dial in the speaker sim right, because I mean, a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'll just plug it into my guitar amp, and it doesn't sound like a Vox anymore." And it's like, well, that's not what it's supposed to do.
Well, that's a lot. I mean, because the Liverpool that you're getting is the V2 that actually has where you can turn off the cab sim.
Oh, that would be cool.
So you can use it in front of your amp.
Or I could use it. I could throw a Moore radar after it and run an IR.
Right, and then you can just put whatever IR after it you want.
Yeah, that would be handy.
Yep. So I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff with those, but yeah, I mean, running direct, I feel like people make it a little bit more complicated than it has to be, but then there's also the people who think it's simpler than it is. I mean, that's I remember playing at this church one time. I came in and the guitar player was running straight to the board through a Digitech Bad Monkey.
Which actually can sound good if you do it right.
Right. It didn't sound absolutely horrible, but it didn't sound great.
Yeah, I mean, the problem there is you're really depending on whoever's at front of house to actually dial it in well, instead of just being like, oh, no, it's just
they'll have to warm it up. That's the thing, because that direct sound is going to be very frail sounding, in my opinion.
Can be. I mean, so a lot of people run a direct sound into a console. You just got to do it right. I mean, the other thing is a lot of times if someone's running direct from their board to front of house, they're running a crazy long cable and not taking care of their cable capacitance properly. So
right.
I mean,
they're not using they're not souping up their sound anywhere down the road.
Yeah,
that's where those great old radials come in.
Radial and frankly, a pedal tuner would probably help. Like a Boss TU2 or TU3 would help a lot.
Just something with a buffer in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I ran, so for a while I was running direct at home. I was just using like an amp sim in my computer,
Yeah.
which I still periodically use. It's just like I have my Kemper just plugs in easily now, so it's not like it's not more effort. It's not that much more effort to just leave the Kemper set up. But so I was doing that, and I found the same thing. Like because I was using a Motu audio interface that didn't have like an instrument in. It's just like combo jacks.
Yeah.
I found just running a buffer before I ran into it just helped clean the signal up a little bit. So I would just like plug in like a TU2 or a TU3 or like just a Boss tuner and just use that as a buffer. And that made recording direct a lot easier.
Do we just have our topic before we even got to?
No, no, because I actually really want to talk about our topic today.
Okay, all right. So new stuff you got.
That's that. I got a third wall hanger for my my guitar wall.
That just came in.
Yeah, and I've already gotten a lot of compliments on having a guitar in my background when I did a Zoom networking thing. People seem to resonate with it. So
they're like, "Oh gosh,
you have a personality." Oh, cool. Yeah. So there's that, and then the last thing is I got an EBS flat MIDI cable. This is the first time trying that.
Yeah, that looks insanely awesome.
I really like it. Yeah, so I've played with the one control ones, where you can kick it vertically or up or down, depending on how you have your jacks oriented, your MIDI jacks oriented. Because like the Warwick ones I have are like left to right only.
Yeah.
So this one's up and down, and it fits under the Velcro on my Volante and just snuck right into the board. So it's just going boom right down and out of the pedal. Like you don't even see the cable. It's great.
Right.
And you don't have to unscrew anything to kick it one direction or the other. So, and it was like $10, $15.
That's cool
for a 2-footer. So
that's actually not that bad on price. I mean,
it's cheaper than a lot of the other stuff out there. So
yeah,
I mean the Warwick stuff is so cheap.
Yeah,
but so yeah, all kind of meandering accessories kind of stuff, but some fun things going on over here. How about you? Anything new?
Well, I've got something on the way. I've got just a cheap little Wilkinson bridge for my telly. I'm going to bring that back to life. So I'm currently on location from a listener's house that I'm crashing at. So that's pretty cool. Shout out.
There's a Patreon tier that if you pay enough money, Diaz will come and live in your house.
Yeah, I would say since Andrew is the guy that bought my MJT from me, yeah, he definitely is top Patreon right there. But yeah,
the bar's been raised, Ben. You need to step up.
Yeah, Ben's been great with like fun pedals and stuff, but have you housed me for a week? I don't even need to get an apartment. I'm just gonna float around from Patreon supporter to pay. Will, you're next. I'm gonna head to Murfreesboro, buddy. But yeah, no, I've got that going. We're planning on fixing up my telly. We're gonna redo the neck again. I had a Bigsby on it, and I really did just a crap job. So I'm gonna bring it back to a string through body hardtail, and bring it back to life.
That's cool.
Yep, I'm excited about that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me on gear. I've been selling a bunch, so whenever I get into my new place and I get my money situated, I have to find a digital delay that I want to get. I don't know what I'm going to get because I sold my DD5
and your whatever the Fender is,
and the marine layer reverb. That's a reverb. I really want to get a Chase Bliss pedal, and I don't know if I want to do the blooper or the mood.
Those things are animals, man.
Yeah, but speaking of blooper,
as a guy who owns a mood, it's an animal. It takes a lot to figure out, but it's cool.
Yeah. Well, I figured that's a good transition. We'll talk about blooper. We're gonna jump ahead on this one. So this was really cool because I don't think this was even teased. It just came out of nowhere.
Well, they just they just like announced it. I think they were purpose built though, weren't they?
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
I'm jumping ahead of us actually saying what it is.
All right, so built guitars. Built their Revelator electric guitar, and there's two of them, and they're fitted with Chase Bliss bloopers in the pick guard. And it's really cool because there's two of them, and they are like opposite color schemes. Like one's a baby blue body, or whatever color you want to call that, with a white pick guard and the blue accented pickups and knob switches and all that. And then the other one is inverted. It's a white body, blue pick guard.
Just also fun because it's a play on the bloopers color scheme.
Right. It matches. I mean, these guitars are so fantastic. I would hate to see the price on these, only because I know Built is a very, they're not very expensive, but they are definitely in the higher tier of guitars.
Yeah, I mean they're fantastic guitars, but I mean they're the price of custom guitars. I mean,
Right.
I've wanted one for a while, because they've been on my radar because I love the Starcaster headstock style that they do.
Yeah.
And so I forgot what the model name is, because it's not the Revelator. They have a Starcaster-esque one that I really like. And there's often one at Chicago Music Exchange when I walk in. I'm like, don't touch. Then you're gonna want it. Don't touch.
Yeah.
But I mean, so this isn't the first time they've done a built-in pedal. Like Sarah Lipstate had one with what pedal was? She had a reverb pedal in hers, or wasn't it? Or was it a delay?
I don't know. There's been quite a few people who've done it.
Because you can honestly tweak the knobs on the fly. It makes it kind of fun to just mess with.
Well, heck, Devo used to tape pedals to their guitar bodies. But yeah, the thing with the blooper is, from what I've seen, it's a lot of fun when you're twisting knobs and messing with the sound.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool to have it like right there. I would love to do like an analog or a tape style delay, so you can get that like weird sound.
The spaceship noises?
Yes. Ooh. What about now? I've been obsessed with the freaking Set It Off intro from Audioslave. Put like the whammy control, but like always have it at maximum.
Yeah.
So you don't have to have the expression there, or you can have like a rolling expression.
What's the mini one that doesn't where they basically
Ricochet?
The Ricochet.
I don't know if they're if the controls are in the same pattern as the whammy. Because to play that part, you'd have to have them in the right spot. Let's see. All right, now I'm getting... All right, come on. Because if it is, I'm going to Ricochet. Let's see. Octave dry, second, fourth, fifth, seventh octave.
Yeah, the question is it the same order? Because that's the trick, too.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
No, it's not even going to be close.
Well, the other thing you could do is just put one of those, what do you call them? The expression knob.
Mm-hmm.
And just run a MIDI down to one on the floor.
Yeah. Oh, what was it called? We did a video. We did the video with Summer Nam talking to those people.
Yeah, I remember looking and talking to them about it, and I think Ryan Burke did a demo with one, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember the name of it though.
Oh, I can't. Dang it. All right. I give up right now. I'm gonna go to our videos on
Noatronics.
Noatronic. No S. Noatronic, no S. I remember because that was a thing whenever we did the video.
Oh, no S as in no S is at the end. Noatronic.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Right, because I think there's another company that's called Noatronics.
Oh, okay.
In case you guys needed to know that. Anywho. All right, well, those look really cool. I love the idea, but I like the Noatronic idea with the whammy. That sounds good. All right.
Yeah, because then you don't have to run power into a guitar. Because, oh man, I wonder how they did that. Because like, the blooper's kind of a power hungry pedal. So if you're running that thing
Yeah.
off at 9 volt, oof.
Oh yeah. I don't know. All right. So, well, since we're on Chase Bliss, we'll talk about Chase Bliss, ZVEX, and Walrus, and Way Huge announced exclusive pedals for Reverb's The Pedal Movie, which Chase Bliss is just a reissue of the Bliss Factory with ZVEX in a much better color scheme.
I disagree. I think the original's better and should be worth more.
Oh no! Only because you own one?
Yeah, but I'm a sucker and I put Velcro on it, and it's on my board. So
I want the.
I think the black is really good looking too.
The black with like the OD green knobs.
Yeah.
The green knobs is the best accent of it.
The original had the green knobs too.
Oh, whatever. It's not black though. All right. Speaking of not black, Way Huge has a pedal called Effect Pedal.
Jumbo Fuzz.
It's a Jumbo Fuzz, but it just says Effect Pedal on it, then Jumbo Fuzz underneath. It's weird.
So is this the thing that George Trips was teasing earlier? Or no, he did something else. He did a fuzz face run, didn't he? Where he made like 4.
Yes. Yeah.
And they were crazy expensive.
Right. But so we got that.
It's got a scoop and a crunch on top of the other fuzz commands. Did they say what topology it is?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, they also have the beer overdrive coming from Way Huge.
I kind of want that. I love the look of it.
Which is just the saucy box, but the effect pedal is a swollen pickle. So they're just reboxes of both existing pedals. So hopefully they won't be as crazy of a special run. I don't think they announced a limit on the Chase Bliss this time.
1,000.
They're doing another 1,000?
Yes.
I mean, just given that used prices sank into like the 400s.
Yeah.
I'm really curious what's going on with demand on this pedal. And I mean, this goes into our larger topic in a little bit here, but...
Right. I want one, though.
Yeah, by all means. Well, first off, it's a MIDI-controlled fuzz, which is fun on its own. Because now I've got... I'm running mine now, and I've got 6 different settings, and they're all radically different things. And so it's like, oh, cool. Now it does all these things. You know?
Yeah. Well, and then you've got Walrus Audio, who's doing the war horn thing.
But it's a war horn and an Ages in one box with a custom artwork.
I don't know.
I mean, so they've done this before. They've done
yeah.
They did the Fathom and the ARP, and then I think they did the Fathom and the Slow, or did they do an ARP and a Slow together?
I don't know.
I remember the Fathom and the ARP because they called it a FARP. Yeah, it's literally 2 pedals in the same enclosure, but they're good pedals. I mean, the Warhorn and the Ages are both fantastic overdrives. So,
well, that was the most mediocre news ever.
Well, and they both come out Tuesday of this week, which means they're sold out probably by the time most of you are listening to this.
Yep.
So,
all right,
I'll be timing on Tuesday how long it takes for the Chase Bliss to sell out again.
Well, while you're doing that, pick me up a couple. Okay, so let's move on to RJM Music announces the Overture, a programmable overdrive with an analog signal path. Okay.
See, you're not in the MIDI world anymore. That you're not that excited about this, are you?
Well, what's the price tag on it? That's one thing, because I saw
it's expensive.
RJM. Yeah, I saw 400. Nah, I'm good.
But it's $400 that replaces multiple overdrives on your board potentially. If you're trying to run a small MIDI board, which more and more people are trying to do now, this could be the trick for a lot of people where they're like, first off, I don't want to run a MIDI switcher, like a loop switcher thing. But I still want on-off controls and stuff like that. And then they were like, I want more than one. I don't want to do like a tube screamer. I want my Klon. I want my tube screamer. I want my King of Tone. I want my, And so getting all that in one box, if you're not a guy who stacks overdrive pedals, this can give you a lot of versatility in a small spot.
I feel like every MIDI programmable overdrive, like it comes out, people are excited for like 15 minutes and then it dies.
Yeah.
I mean,
The M Drive.
Brothers.
M Drive, Brothers. Brothers did pretty well for about a year or two, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's discontinued now.
And then there's the Scarlet Love or the Scarlet
That had MIDI?
from the V3 did.
Oh.
V3 was MIDI. And then you had Source Audio had the I can't remember what it was called, but they've had a MIDI overdrive. I mean, I think it's like one of those things where it's cool.
You think you want it, but you don't actually want that, or maybe it's like MIDI fuzzes. After I just sung their praises, like a lot of people, we want to have lots of overdrives and fuzzes, and we want to keep swapping them out because it's fun.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. All right, so
no demos on this one, so we don't know how good it sounds. That's the other downside of it.
Right. Speaking of things that we think we want that we probably never really need, LR Bags has the VoicePrint DI now, or the VoicePrint DI now supports Apple Watch control.
Admittedly, I just threw this in the article. I threw this article in, and I have no idea why or what it does, and I'm basically reading it on the fly.
Welcome. Hey, that's what I do.
Wait, is the VoicePrint the thing that basically uses a cabinet IR to put an authentically acoustic tone with your acoustic pickup? Yeah, that's what I thought it is.
Yeah.
So, it's got some extra controls on it, but I'm just like, it's an IR loader.
Yeah, but it's pretty cool. You can control it with the Apple Watch. I mean, it's a nifty little thing.
I don't want to control things with an Apple Watch. $400 for it, by the way.
You don't have an Apple Watch, do you?
I don't.
So that's why. You can control it with your iPhone too.
Again, I don't totally get this. Yet it doesn't have MIDI.
Oh my gosh, it doesn't have to have MIDI. It's got the Apple Watch. Whatever. I'm done trying to explain to you how this works.
I fully get how this thing works. It has an effects loop. It's a DI.
It's got an Apple Watch.
And it has Bluetooth built into it somehow that you can communicate with like Apple devices. But you're going to have to get a Bluetooth to MIDI kind of thing to get the standard protocol across all other musical things isn't supported.
All right. Well, talking about not supporting, I don't support this next thing. SE Electronics announces Miles Kennedy signature microphone. They made it just in case someone only wanted to be able to stand your voice for one song and then say, I can't do this anymore.
Ouch.
Yeah, I don't fucking care. You know what? Man's got a great voice. He's got amazing range. He's talented, but I can only listen to one song at a time, and I have to take like a month off in between.
But that's your problem. It's not that he can't sing for more than one song.
No. That's why I said if someone wants to only listen to you sing, it's because your voice is that not bad, but it's that distinct.
All right. So it's a dynamic mic. So I guess is it competing with a 58 or a Beta 58?
Beta 58, I'd say.
Okay. So at $130, it's actually not that crazy of a price then, because a normal 58 is about $100, and then a Beta 58 is like $200. I don't pay for microphones, so I don't really know this.
Oh, I don't pay for microphones. Sorry, I don't know what that voice was, but
that's just the jealousy that I'm hanging out with my shore rep on Friday, right?
Can you tell them I need an SM7B?
I don't know. I got my M7 for free, but I'm pretty sure I have to give it back to him.
Okay. Well, explain to him. Tell him what I'm going through in my life, and see if he has a soul. And say the only thing he needs, the only thing he wants, is an SM7B. He doesn't even know what it does.
I would get the M7 if I were you, for what you're looking to do. I think it's a better
I don't
starter
know.
mic since you don't really have like an audio interface that can really drive an SM7. So if you're going to get an SM7, you're also going to have to get like a cloud lifter and deal with all the noise from that. So
I just want Barry White voice.
that's just something unique to Chris that he screws up in his computer.
All right, so
I mean, I would love to have Miles Kennedy's range. Do you
oh
think
my
buying his
gosh.
mic would give me that kind of a range?
Well, buying the SM7B got Chris the Barry White range. So,
Wrong direction.
Who knows? Yeah. He went the other way with it. All right. Okay, so we're gonna move on. PV officially releases the much anticipated. I don't know how it's much anticipated, but okay. Misha Manser signature Invective MH amp head. So who is Misha Manser?
Periphery.
Okay.
He's the
Oh,
dude
is that the
behind
guy
Periphery.
who does the? Is that the guy who has the precision drive and all that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, this is
What?
like one of the influencers' signature amps. So this is a big deal. It's also
Yeah,
it's
yeah. No.
PV who like makes nothing anymore.
Why did they pick that fucking logo?
Because
No. They could have done a different one. They could have not made it so like 80s.
yeah, but I mean, he was using a 5150, I think, for a long time before he did his signature thing. So
Or was he doing 5150 or maybe 6505? No, 6505 is the one that I think everyone hates.
under $1,000, 20 watt down to 5 watt or a single watt, 16 and a half pounds. EL84
I thought you were
base.
talking about the I thought you were talking about the cost. I was like, that is cheap. Like I don't even have to convert that. I know I can afford that.
Oh, you know what? I think he did a larger amp before, and this is like the scaled down version of it.
Okay. Well, I mean, but $700. That's pretty good.
Yeah. It's actually it's $700 is actually where wow. So you know who this competes with? Is Paul Reed Smith has a amp head in this space with Mark Tremonti.
Yeah. I remember we talked about that when they released it at NAMM. But isn't the Mark Tremonti one like $500-600?
It's pretty cheap. I mean, considering it's like it's Hot Rod Deluxe pricing. Like, you know, like you don't have an amp or a speaker with it, but this does operate. It can go direct with an XLR out, and I think USB. I think it can do speaker sim, which again at this price point seems ridiculous to me.
It's
got a tube status indication circuit, which lets you know if tubes are going bad, which all amps should have. Oh, that's a great little thing.
That is amazing. How, you know what? PV, if you would have changed the logo, this would be doing a lot better.
Can the logo just come off?
I mean, well, the problem is the logo looks like it's on top of Tolex.
I think it's like metal.
I hope so, because if it's on top of...
just take a piece of gaff tape and just cover up that like logo. I mean, I don't know if this is your sound. I mean, this is going to be Gent City here, but...
I want a Gent.
Yeah.
I'm totally going for middle-aged Gent dad. I'm going to be a gentleman.
Yeah, I mean, at that price point, it's got to be made in China, right?
Oh, it's PV, so they shut down all their American stuff. Yeah.
Do they make anything in America anymore?
Probably not.
I still just remember that Undercover Boss episode. That was so terrible.
That was so... What's his name? The owner?
Harland PV,
yeah.
Yeah, it looks so bad. And then here's the fun part to remember. You pay to be on Undercover Boss. They paid to do that. That's the way that business model works.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, it's pure PR. Your company looks great. Your business goes up when
Hartley PV.
Yeah, when you see that. Oh, look how great of an owner they are. They're not some cold blah 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 corporation. And then you pull that crap where you're unrelatable to any of your employees. Everything's wooden. Someone tells you your sob story and then you fire them 2 months later after they say, hey, I got a better job. And you say, don't leave yet. So Screw you, Peavy. But this amp looks dope.
Yeah. Screw you, PV. Looks good though, bud.
I don't think we're big corporation guys, but
I mean, I don't have a problem with a lot of companies. PV just undercover boss ruined it. Okay, let's move on to this last thing on gear news. Why don't you explain this one? I know what it is, but I feel like you'll be more eloquent about it.
I can't actually. So I haven't played with it yet, but
Yeah,
Thomann has the largest store in Germany, if not all of Europe.
They're like the Sweetwater of Europe.
Yeah, has announced the Stompenberg FX online app that lets you change parameters on real stomp boxes in real time with sample sounds to determine how they sound.
They're not the first people to do this, though.
No?
No, I believe, was it Tonehaven, or something like that. If you go to Keeley's website, they've got it on there. Let's see, rkfx.com. I'll figure out who it's through, but they're not the first people to do this. But they probably have a larger amount of pedals to pick from.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know what I want to get. Never mind. I want the Echoes. I just thought about it.
Well, I mean, here's a cool idea to do with it. If it really is like in real time, it's like a Zoom call where you're playing a loop through it. So, was Beatronics ever at a NAMM that you were at? Diaz?
Yes.
So did they ever have their display where they kind of do like a video thing and they just leave the pedal and some of the audio from it is routed through the pedal, and so like you're watching a band play and you can actually tweak the guitar player's track on their pedal? I think it's similar to that, just at the same time.
Did you just burp in the mic?
I tried not to, but I did.
I just had to call it out. That's all.
Yeah, scoreboard is what, 1 to how many from you?
I am the champ. Okay, that's me, the champ. They don't call me champ for nothing.
All right.
It's like no one calls you champ.
And so there's also a there are motorized turn your knob via MIDI devices out there. So I'm just speculating how to do this without actually watching the video in real time and knowing how to do it. But so like you could just like do a Zoom call where someone has an interface where they can control the MIDI, so they can twist the knobs while loop is playing, and it's just basically a Zoom call. I mean, that could work. It's just like it would require setup. But
I have no idea.
Or it might be something more, but this is like the most COVID solution, which I'm actually kind of down with. I mean, like, you already think about how like we never go into guitar stores and play with pedals anymore. We just watch a bunch of YouTube demos and make a decision if we like it or not. I might actually go and do this now to determine what kind of range it's like, and then go, why doesn't this sound like Andy? But yeah, I think it's cool. We'll see where this all goes.
Yeah. Oh. All right. Well, do we want to talk about? Let's go to your topic.
Yeah. So there's been a few videos out lately. Casino Guitars actually did a really good couple of videos on this. So when COVID first broke out, everyone was like, "Oh, this is the end of the guitar," because like all these guitar stores were struggling. And then 2020 was like the best sales year ever.
Yeah.
For guitars, and there's more new players ever, and I think they said something like normally 90% of new guitar players quit within the first 6 months, and it doesn't look like that's happening.
Well, I feel like it's also like one of the biggest reasons why people give up guitar in the first 6 months is they don't put in the time because they have a life. And, you know, that's one reason why it's harder for adults to start and stick with it than kids. Because kids have all the time on their hands that they, you know, adults
or they're even forced to by the parents. Like, oh, you need to practice. Like I had to practice piano half an hour a day when I was a kid, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I understand that completely. That's the way I was raised. But that's the thing is I feel like we've morphed out of that because
Mm-hmm.
there's so many adults who are working from home,
Mm-hmm.
and they're able to fiddle around with the guitar in between Zoom calls or just any time that they want to distract themselves from work. And I mean, that's awesome. How many? But there's a lot of if you talk to a lot of adult guitar players,
They're all buying stuff right now.
and you also ask them, it used to be you ask all the adult guitar players, when did you start playing guitar? A lot of them said whenever they were kids or teenagers or something like that.
Usually junior high or college tends to be like the two startup times for people.
Right, and then you've got the weird ones like me, where like I had my first guitar lesson when I was in like third grade.
Wow.
Like I stopped playing guitar for a while. I played piano, I played other instruments. I ended up coming back towards the guitar. But yeah, I mean, I learned guitar early on, and I mean, it's just kind of a thing though where life gets in the way, and it's tough. I mean, honestly, everyone, people ask me all the time, like, "How'd you get so good at guitar?" I'm like, I dropped out of high school. Like, I mean, I'm joking, but like honestly, I spent most of my high school just playing guitar. And I didn't do schoolwork crap like that. I made bad decisions and played guitar, but like that's where a lot of my time was spent. And I think that's really shifting just with the quote unquote normal that we're in.
Yeah, so you got that going on. So there is
An
probably
influx of buyers.
there is an unprecedented demand for guitar
Right.
gear. At the same time, there's a great guitar shortage.
And there's also tariffs on parts, making it hard for builders to get parts from overseas.
Well, they can get them. They have to pay more for them.
Well, even then, there's still a shortage too. That you've got a lot of people who are having problems sourcing parts.
Yeah, and that has more to do. I thought that had largely been fixed at this point, but this is in other industries too. Like people talk a lot right now about on the computer side, there are no graphics cards
Yeah.
at all. Like they're recommending like 5 and 10-year-old graphics cards now.
Wow.
So like when I tried to build a computer last summer, it took a while. Like it took me a while to get my hands on an Intel processor when I built my computer. And like
Dang.
you can't get Intel processors. I think you can get Intel right now, but like AMD is like sold out everywhere. So I mean,
Wow.
there's a chip shortage. It's affecting cars. It's hard to buy cars right now, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's everything is in short demand. So I mean, there's two sides. There's increased demand, and also there's less production. And
Right.
so both those two things are going to no surplus, and now the gear market is in a bubble. Or is the gear market, the used gear market, in a bubble, or is it about to pop? What's going on there? But if you look at,
I think it's about to pop. I think we're about to have a giant surge of. I think people have overcorrect. I would say people have like builders and stuff have probably started ordering a lot more parts and what they can get their hands on, and they're going to up production as best they can. And I think that we're going to get where we're going to have a giant flood of new gear. And I don't think that. I think that's going to cause used prices to go back down.
we'll see. I mean,
That's a big because I think that's what's happening. That's the big thing with the used gear market is it's because you can't find some of the stuff new. And it's not because it's discontinued, it's because it's just out of stock.
mm-hmm. I mean that's where the crazy things happen, like how the KTR goes from use discount to $600 per one. Is
Right.
its production cycle that's gone in and out of production a few times now.
I mean, I was able to pick up a KTR for like $325.
You could still make money on that right now, I think.
Right. And like that's the thing, like, but that was the normal then.
Well, when I bought
And
mine, it was like $230,
yeah, I
and
mean,
that was
it
new.
was.
I bought mine from a store in Canada though, so I think I had
Oh
like
yeah, because
exchange
you
rate
ended up
crap.
buying it. Didn't you buy it from Eastside and it took forever or something like that?
I bought it from Eastside when I heard that the market was drying up, and then they like sold 3 of the last one, and so they had to back order us. And so I was like, hey, I'll just wait. And I thought it would be like, yeah, I'll be here in a month. And then, 6 months later, I'm like, give me my money back, please. And
Yeah.
they did. Like, they were cool about it. But because at the same time, I was like, well, if you guys are first in line for the next batch, I still want to be in that spot.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, so I mean, there's some interesting stuff going on in the gear world right now. Because like, you can't buy a new Martin D16 or a D18 right now.
Yeah.
You just can't get your hands on one. You can't get a Gibson Les Paul Standard right now, believe it or not. And I know everyone is so divisive on that guitar, but it still is an icon. Go on Sweetwater and try to find an American. What's the current American Professional?
Yeah.
They're all sold out. So these aren't Squires selling out. These are the high-end stuff too.
Yeah, it's because people aren't going out and eating, and they're not. Well, people are, but like people are. They're not going out and spending money. They're not going to concerts. They're not going out to bars like they were. They're not going out and spending money frivolously on things. Experiencing life outside the house. So they're bringing fun to themselves. And they've got this influx of cash that would normally be spent elsewhere.
Well, and we're all rich off buying GameStop, right?
Yeah, and our stimulus checks, them Biden bucks.
Yeah, I don't think I got one.
Yeah,
you have kids.
It's yeah.
So. Which it's fine. I don't need a stimulus check. I make enough money that I'm doing okay.
Stimulate me. I need a stimulus check, Joe Biden. If you're listening to this, send me one. I want to be stimulated.
So when I was at Chicago Music Exchange, I don't know, a month or so ago, and my buddy was looking at, D18, HD18, HD28s. Like he really wants that like Tony Rice sound. So we were playing through a bunch, trying to see what clicked with him and stuff like that. And the guy who was working the desk there said a 2020 Martin might actually carry more value in the future than a 2021 or 2019.
A COVID Martin?
Yeah. Do you think there's anything to that?
I think people will be dumb enough to pay a premium for it.
I mean, it would be one thing if there was like some type of an emblem on it or something that like marked that it was special, other than just like magic serial numbers. But this also seems like one of those things like weirdos on the forums will just like completely go all in on.
Yeah. Like I said, there'll be people dumb enough to believe that it's special.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's like you've got some pedal makers who are doing. Well, there's a JHS is doing the COVID marking.
They are
on their pedals that are being made. Like,
yeah, when they did the was it the Legends of Fuzz series? They did like made at home or something like that.
Yeah, and then they also let me
go grab my Legends of Fuzz and see where it is.
We'll wait patiently.
What's interesting is the label's already starting to go on the back.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's kind of weird since I haven't put any Velcro on it. I gotta get a screwdriver. Bear with me.
We're bearing.
Are you bearish or bullish?
I am a bear, according to certain people.
Certain people whose houses you're staying in?
I don't think that. No, that would make things a little awkward.
Yeah, could justify how you're paying your way.
Oh my gosh. Andrew, please don't listen to this episode. Please don't listen to this episode. Caroline, please don't listen to this episode.
Please don't listen to this with the kids in the car.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, just as a general rule, please don't listen to this podcast with kids in the car, everybody.
As a general rule, please don't listen to this podcast. Like,
what?
Damn. I'm just kidding. Please listen to this podcast.
I'm not seeing anything on my Legends of Fuzz.
Well, it was not made
Maybe
with
it was on
COVID love. I don't know. All right. Well, is there anything else you'd like to add before we wrap this thing up?
In some ways, I've really enjoyed the inflated used market because I took advantage of it. But So if you are sitting on stuff where you're like, yeah, I should sell this. Maybe I should sell this. Now's the time to do it. Especially if you own a Gibson that you're thinking like, I don't really love this thing. Maybe I should sell it. Used Gibsons are at like an all-time high right now. So it's a good time if you have a desirable one. So sorry, M2 owners. I don't know what else to say.
All right. Well, everyone, thanks for joining us on your favorite podcast that you're not going to listen to with your kids in the car. So you can join our Facebook group at facebook.com/group/the-effects-loop. Also, don't let your kids join there. Follow us on Instagram at The Effects Loop. Find our YouTube because we don't know where it's at. Email us at theeffectsloop@gmail.com. You can join our Patreon at patreon.com/theeffectsloop. If you give enough money, I'll come sleep at your house.
Oh, actually, speaking of actual Patreon rewards, I forgot my what's new. The potential prototype for our Patreon reward for the year might be in.
Wait, what is? I don't even know what that is.
Oh, I sent you a picture of it.
What? When?
Over the weekend.
I'm so confused.
I'll send you a picture after we're done. But
did you send it on Facebook or whatever? All right, just send it after we were done.
Yeah, we're.
Sorry.
We'll announce it once we made it because we'll make a few extras probably and give them to like past guests and stuff too. So
I'm so confused. All right. Well, you guys will find out when I find out, I guess, and we can all be surprised together. Stringjoy, thank you for sponsoring this episode. Go to stringjoy.com and you can find some awesome, cool gear, some strings, some string cleaner, you can clean your guitar there too. Their microfiber cloth is one of my favorites.
Their string cleaner is fantastic. I need to clean all my guitars.
Yeah, this is your monthly reminder to clean your guitars. Have your guitars spayed or neutered. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Strong. We have to just keep pushing along. We are one. So let's come together, show 'em some love. There are many things that this world needs, but the most important one is unity. United we stand, divided we fall. Through the ages this has been the same old song. Yeah. Don't fight, don't stand. We're strong, follow the cause. We are strong. We have to just keep pushing along. We are one. So let's come together, show some love. This song is not about race or politics, but the hate that resides in the hearts of men. Desperate times call it desperate measures. So why don't we be desperate to love each other?
Let's erase hate from the dictionary. Why is negativity always drawn out? Pictionary, visualize love, energize lives together. We undefeated. A plan to make weathers, no gloves needed. When we weed into the mindset of achieving and believing in a community that remains happy. The after, the world should be one. Hate annihilated, every heart is one. Love again. So
Don't fight.